Here we are at day 29 of this pilgrimage, and we reach one of the trickiest moments in the entire pilgrimage. In the opinion of the world, we pray today, Jesus, grant me the grace to desire that others be preferred to me in everything. So let's begin with the situations where this prayer actually cannot be applied because it's really tricky. The most obvious place that this prayer can't be applied is actually marriage. So if your wife always, notice the absolute here, if your wife always prefers your children to you, to the point where she stops being a wife and only exists as a mom, the solution isn't for you to pray this prayer. If your husband always prefers his work or a sport or another person to you, if he ceases to be a husband, if he continues the bachelor lifestyle, even if he isn't unfaithful, but if he continues the bachelor lifestyle of doing what he wants on his own time, the solution isn't to pray this prayer, because when you get married, part of your vow is to prefer your spouse. It is to elevate the priority of your vocation above the things and people of this world. The only source that ought to be preferred over the spouse is God and his will. And that's it. That's it. Here's another example. If you're providing for your family, you cannot have this attitude. You cannot pray this prayer. If you are making an amount of money that is below the threshold of what it takes to adequately support the growth and well-being of your family, then you ought not to accept this prayer or make this prayer a priority in your life. You need someone somewhere to prefer you enough to give you a role and a responsibility capable of providing for your family. And here's one more. As a son or a daughter, it's actually not a healthy prayer to pray in relation to your parents. Harry Chapin's famous song, Cats in the Cradle, has pierced the heart of generations of fathers and sons and kids just in general. Why? Because when a father never seems to prefer his child ever, there is something intrinsic within us that knows this is disordered, unholy, and detrimental to both the parent and the child. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, and I think you get my point of when we ought not to pray this prayer, the question then is, in what way and for what reason do we pray this prayer? And it's really simple. It's not easy, but it's really simple. If you're looking for an external validation from anyone other than God, then pray this prayer. If you need to be sought after for wisdom or advice, if you need to be the only person your friend spends time with, if you need to be listened to by your adult children in order to feel respected, if you need your spouse to have no alone time whatsoever, if you need your boss to only go with your ideas to feel valued, if you need someone to go to you instead of God directly on spiritual matters, if any of this or this type of thing produces a form of anxiety within you, if you need external validation in order to get through your day and ward off the anxiety, then pray this prayer. Because in the end, preferring that others get the opportunity to shine or be there or speak or be wise or whatever is good training ground for eventually letting others prefer God and his ways and his will to you and your own. It's getting to a place where you are happy and vying for other people not to look at you, but to look at God. So that others may be preferred to me in everything. Jesus, grant me the grace to desire it.